of the bands to start things off, and I wonder, is it a Pamba party or a Palu party?
We're about to find out, Des. Those bands are coming in thick and fast. Thatcher is going to be the first, followed by a Nomad band from DarkZero. So, a nod towards maybe a little bit of aggression, maybe a bit of flanking. We might have the odd jump out, who knows?
What you see from some teams when they ban away a Nomad is they just bring like 4 Claymores, because obviously we had the change come through recently. Any operator that has Claymores now has 2 in back pocket, not just the 1. So actually turns out to be a relatively viable alternative to something like a Nomad. A lot of teams do still run the Nomad. It just gives you extra options and security if you want it. Warden being banned away, Tim. Oh, you know exactly what that means we're going to see. We're going to see some Ying rolling through down to the basement in this game.
I would certainly expect so. We'll almost certainly have the smokes coming along as well. We're going to have a lot of attempts just to prevent those defenders being able to see what's going on, put the screens up, and try to get in and plant behind them.
Well, it's going to have to wait first, Tim, because by the looks of it, we are starting upstairs in kids and dorms. On the attacking side, they're going to no doubt be adapting this lineup as well based on what they see. Thorn, we haven't seen all that much throughout the competition now I think about it, but the other day, we did see a Razor Bloom kill.
We did, yeah. Somebody, I can't remember who it was. It was maybe one of BDS, if I'm going from memory. I think it was maybe Renshiro. I'm sorry, Renshiro, if it wasn't. Somebody was on low health. They're on about 15 health, went in through a window and got caught by the Razor Bloom. My memory really being tested there. But yeah, the Razor Blooms are an interesting gadget. We see them obviously deployed more as area denial rather than entry denial. The fuse on them is just a little bit too long. If you've got somebody on a Finker charging in there, going for kills, looking for those entries, they are long gone by the time that Razor Bloom detonates. Instead, you're using them for information gathering, so you get them inside of a window or a door, for example. You know that somebody's come through there. You're not worried about doing the damage. Get them in a plant spot where somebody is going to be staying still, something like where a breach might happen, and you're going to have that animation of a exothermic charge being put on the wall.
This setup's really interesting from Liquid as well. We saw this the other day, actually, Tim, where the walk-in wardrobe wall is left halved soft, and normally what you'll have there is a smoke player sat on that breach with a shotgun in hand, ready to swing out into master bedroom. But just to double down on the damage, it's not only there that's an angle. There you go, thank you very much, Easy. Up as well inside a trophy, you've got the shield set down so they can also swing and challenge from there. So Liquid looking to go quite aggressive in towards the master bedroom side, but like for most teams that attack into Oregon, especially on this site, they're starting out towards showers. You have 1 man through dining, 1 through shower corridor, then you get up to that security line that Ask is currently holding.
Just getting a little bit too aggressive for his own good there, maybe. Ash just having a peek at the security door. DarkZero know that he's playing inside a kitchen. They need to go in and clear him out. Interestingly, Ash not bringing the nitro along. He's got 2 impact nades. Usually you'd see the player in security, quite often a mute, is going to have the nitro in hand, and they're looking for the vertical denial if somebody comes in through the double window and tries to get a plant down, because they're playing directly underneath it. That's not going to be the same option. Ash can still open the ceiling above him, but might not have the direct impact on the planter that he would want to.
I love this, by the way. The top down, then you just saw like 4 players of Liquid all stood on concrete. There are 8 frag grenades in that back pocket of DarkZero. They can do a lot of damage from below if you give them the opportunity, which is, I think, why they want control of things like kitchen, start tossing nades from below, forcing players to move around. So far, Liquid being quite elusive, though, like ghosts around the map, and then in comes NJR, finds one. He's a ghostbuster, down goes Ask.
Great opener from DarkZero there, and we just saw this picture building up of the drones coming in, Ask being pushed around, forced back. They knew exactly where he was, and they used the information fantastically well. DarkZero need to continue that level of drone game, that level of information. They've got 6 drones left, and just about a minute of the round, so plenty to go at for them. Resets, he's trying to hold on. This could be that vertical nade we were talking about. Hyper, he can't quite connect, and he's going to instead shift his attention to the white stairs.
5 more to go at this point, Tim. They can do a lot of work with those nades, and there's still time with which to work. Canadian pushing his way in through Attic here. I think there's still someone looking to challenge. She got stuff towards the right-hand side. It's Resets stepping out as well, narrowly missing each other, at least for now. And with that bullet shot coming out, Canadian's going to know that Resets is sat here and ready to challenge. You may well see a nade come flying down at a moment's notice, likely out of Canadian's back pocket. There comes one as Ness gets down as well. So here we go, the damage coming in from DarkZero. They pull the trigger, they pull the bump, and up they go. Resets finds Canadian. Hyper into a second as he pushes through top white. Palu goes down inside the site. Hyper hits the deck. Resets falling down to Pamba as he comes into the attic. BSK left alive inside the kids all by himself. Pamba, NJR coming in for the trade. They find the kill. Round 1 goes to DarkZero.
What a bloodbath we just witnessed at the end of round 1. There were kills flying in both directions. DarkZero able to come out on top though with a good attack. used the verticals well, took the control that they needed with that early kill onto Ask. I like what I saw out of them in that round, and they just need to keep that momentum going now into round 2.
Look at the difference there as well. I mean, look back at Theme Park for Liquid's defense here, right? Back on Theme Park, they were very aggressive around the map. Set up around Cafe, players out towards Dragon and Cash, really trying to keep DarkZero tested in the early round. But the only player you saw playing off site there, really, was Ask. He was alone inside the meeting and got picked up for free by NJR, was getting pinched in by 2 players of DarkZero. So no real resistance being shown by Liquid, which to me was the difference maker, and DarkZero, as they should, happily capitalized on it.
It's worth remembering at this point as well, Liquid, of course, the last team in this competition not from the North American region. If Liquid cannot come through here on Oregon, it will guarantee us an NA champion in Charlotte.
Crazy, isn't it, already, before we've even seen the second semi-final? The era of NA dominance has arrived, ladies and gentlemen.
Certainly seems that way through this tournament and through TSM's win at SI as well, obviously. Becoming a very competitive league, very kind of suddenly, really.
It's interesting how like we had that 12 months of like LATAM win everything. Now kind of NA's caught up, and
they want their 12 months.
Sadly for us, EU's still got a bit of work to do,
just
Tim.
being left out in the cold right now, Des, left out in the cold.
Just a couple of years, then maybe.
Hyper's going to use the Gon 6 to get this barricade open quickly, likely follow it in as well. Just changing his mind, flipping back and forward, we'll see. I think he's going to get on the drones instead. Maybe just a lack of information, lack of confidence in going in there. Could be right, because as soon as they hear that barricade go, Ask may well have chosen to push down into green there. But the drone will escape, and they will know that somebody's playing on rear stage.
Indeed, again, it's a little slow start for DZ. Not that too worried about this. They want to make sure they're doing things by the book here. You haven't massively got to rush. As long as you're getting these hatches opened up and starting to think about the site by about that 1 minute mark, you're not going to be in a bad position. Ask pretty low. Hyper now starting to step his way up the shower corridor once again. Again, the security line gets drawn here between the top of Freezer and security itself. Hyper already got himself inside here to the bottom of White, as all of Liquid have said, yep, no thanks, Chief, we're out, back on site.
That's it, they've all been completely forced back, and now what they're going to do is get themselves set up for this last 1 minute 40. So it's all about taking positions, lines of sight, where's everybody looking. Liquid have got a little bit of breathing space. They've got about 20-30 seconds inside before anything's going to start happening from DarkZero. So that time will be used to have those conversations. Who's holding what? Where are we going? Are we ready for this? Because all they can do now is sit and wait for DarkZero to make their final move.
Well, it gets Liquid done a really good job of bringing down the drones. Only 3 left on side for DarkZero here. So yes, it looks like that roam was kind of a, well, you were out of sight in 75 seconds and nothing happened. Sure, you've killed the majority of the information gathering coming in from the attackers. So DarkZero here will have a little bit of droning coming in. You had Pamba hot droning Hyper through the map, but outside of that, they are flying mostly blind here, Tim.
Exactly, it's quite Eclipse going into garage there, still unsure as to whether anybody is playing. They're having to be careful about every inch that they take of this map, and they're getting in towards the final minute now. NJR finally going to open up that bunker barricade. He's got support as well. There's pressure on rear stage. PSK fully flashed out, but there is no push that is coming along with it. But there he goes. Hyper manages to get the opener, but Parlu and Nest step up. Pamba with a trade onto Nest. 3v3 now. 35 seconds left to go. And DarkZero continue the push. NJR, the sharp end of this attack. Kill onto Pamba as well, and that's going to be Ask. He manages to step up, gets the shotgun kill. 1v2 now. Can he hold on? 25 seconds left to go. He needs to try and play with the clock here, Des. He needs to try and keep this going for as long as possible. That could be pivotal. He gets the kill onto Pamba. 1v1. No! Ask with a 3K to finish off round 2. Successful defensive laundry.
What a crazy round overall, Tim, as well. It felt like nothing really happened for 2 minutes, and then it all exploded towards the end. Really interestingly, for DarkZero, 3 players said, you know what, there's a smoke there. I'm going straight through it. I ain't waiting. They just charged their way in. That's when they got the kind of surprise kills coming in around Pillar, but just couldn't quite catch the last man in that little initial blitz they had in towards site. Ask, big clutch coming out in the 1 versus 3.
The tension is really starting to rise now, because you just get a feeling that this one could bounce back and forward like this, round to round to round, until we see the climax towards the end of those 12 rounds. They're just going to be setting up on the top floor once again. It's going to be a Dorms hold for Team Liquid. We're going to have a quick rehost. We'll have a quick rehost. We'll get back in, but Liquid just choosing to get themselves back up to Dorms rather than choosing that third choice side. We've got the chants going. The DarkZero fans are in fine form today.
or the US fans at this point.
Anybody, it's just anybody US at this point, anybody NA.
Yeah, absolutely, all banding together. Of course they want to have an all-NA final as well to guarantee that NA winner. Why wouldn't you? For one of those, how that round played out, again, it came down to really asking the 1 versus 3. That's not the sort of thing you're going to see happening every single round. We saw Pamba with a really good push in towards Pillar, and what I'm enjoying so far about this game, it's not just down to a Pamba party. You're also seeing NJR getting involved as well. Equally, Ask with the big clutch. It's not just about one player per map. You know, Palu dropping 16 back on Theme Park. Pamba, 16 on Chalet. Already, you're getting more players involved in the scrap.
That's it, and I think, to be honest, DarkZero don't mind that last round too much. Yeah, of course, they, you know, by choice would have taken the win on it, but ultimately, what can you do when Ask is just going to claim it out like that? 3 kills at the end, 1v2, shuts it down. There's just not really too much that you can do in response to that. It's one of those rounds that you just got to write off. You got to say, you know what, bit of a hero play from Ask. We go again, we get back into it. And the fact that they're going back to the site that they've already won in round 1, and they've won it pretty convincingly, really, I think that's going to be a good thing for DarkZero. It's just going to settle things down after that loss.
Yeah, again, I'll give it to Liquid. Their clearance of drones in the early round was really, really good, I thought, overall. For DarkZero, they were attacking blind towards the end of that round and did really well with the information that they had. So no big complaints on that side. We'll move back into game in just a second, by the way, so don't worry too much. Players are all back in the service of things should be underway in no time at all. I'm just thinking, Tim, we keep on speaking about this possibility of overtime. If it really does go all the way to the distance, whose voice gives out first, mine or yours? Mine's already a bit croaky after this week.
Mine was pretty close after the old phase game in Sweden.
Oh, you can hear it, mate.
That was about the closest it's ever got, but it usually stands up all right. It should be all right.
We can manage one.
It depends how loud everybody here is. If I've got to shout louder to be heard because everybody here gets really loud, which I'm guessing will be the case if we get overtime, then who knows? Maybe it won't be too happy.
It's like numbers versus speakers, basically. What's louder? We'll find out if it gets towards that tail end of the game. I think you saw it as well. The little replay we had at the end. Canadian is getting a little bit more loud. You saw him at the end, being like, yeah, let's go. You know, all the stuff you want to see.
I think that's it. It's natural at this point.
Oh, yeah.
You know, regardless of what the mentality is within the team, Robert, you know, you've spoken about it, even if you want that sort of even keel, you want that nice middle ground of not too high, not too low. There's a point where emotion is just going to take over. And in this sort of game, you're in map 3, you're looking for the grand final. It's going to be that sort of game where that emotion starts to take over. And regardless of thinking, no, we need to keep it on a level, it's just going to go out of the window.
It's one of those where you can, it's the whole, like, everyone's got a plan so they get punched in the face. In this case, it's the hype and excitement of the competition, the stage that you're at, the possibility of winning a major. Because for DarkZero, let's not forget, they've been building towards this for a good 9 months. You know, they made the changes come in. They didn't have the best performances all the way up until this point, but they have, as Canadian said in an interview with Ian yesterday, been building up towards better and better performances and finishes. This would be the real cherry on the cake if they can win the major.
Bit of good news. We will just wait until everything's running smoothly, but the lobby is complete. The game is starting up, and we will get in back on our way very, very shortly between these two. It is going to be round 3. We are 1 map apiece at this point. We've had a theme park win for Team Liquid. We've had a chalet win for DarkZero, both reasonably convincing in their score lines, but now on Oregon, it just feels like this is going to be a much closer affair. This is going to decide who goes to the grand final, and we are 1-1 at this point.
Very convincing in individual play, though, is my thing.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
I kind of feel like we haven't yet seen either team really take charge in terms of, like, team play. It has come down to, oh, you met Palu and he killed 3 of you. Unlucky, I guess, right? It's one of those, so give it a bit of time and we'll see exactly how the team play really starts to develop.
We're going to be going back in now, I believe. We are starting in round 3. It's going to be a Domes defense, so we're going to be up on the top floor. This is the site that DarkZero were able to win on the attack to begin with. They dealt with Ask underneath very, very easily. I think they'll be looking to do the same again, and Ask might not even play under there.
No, may well not. He is on the Echo in this round. We've got resets on the Valkyrie. This is the prime time for DarkZero to go, oh, look what they've got. We need an IQ. If they see those 2 operators, they'll know exactly what to change to. If they don't, it's at their own peril. We haven't yet seen a team see this pairing of operators and not bring the IQ. And there it is, Pamba moving away from playing on the Iana. That kind of step away from the RX Sun. Get on the IQ because we're going to need it.
Absolutely. We're going to have The action phase kicking off then. DarkZero getting themselves quickly towards the building line. I think they're going to be confident. Last time they dealt with the roam very easily, but I'm looking at those silhouettes of Team Liquid, and there is somebody off in the basement in the distance, and that's going to be DarkZero needing to make sure they're droning that out fully and finding that player, because otherwise they could get hit badly on the flank. It's going to be Resets playing underneath. He's got the Valkyrie cams to support as well, and he's just going to be trying to make a nuisance of himself.
Yeah, Palu as well. Two of them is looking to come up on the flank as and when required, which means on site it's a little bit light. You've got PSK and Ash currently sat inside of there. DZ can't exactly rush in towards site at this point with the lineup that they've got as well. By the looks of it, want to get master bedroom control, want to get attic control, and try and step forward from there. So a very conventional attack of this site coming right up.
Hyper just getting himself straight inside of master bedroom, and as you said, DarkZero at this point largely just ignoring those roamers away from site, happy to just start working on the direct push, although we might start to see that change. They need to be careful here. If they're going to be going into attic, rear stage is one of the places that could be very troublesome for them. They've cleared out any utility that was preventing them get through, more than likely a mute jammer, and they're going to have the Selma charges detonating now. So the site is going to start coming under pressure pretty soon, and that's going to be the signal for these roamers to potentially do something.
Gives them the angle straight through towards site. Three players bursting in behind PSK here as well. Master is losing control. So in comes DarkZero, slowly stepping their way forwards one at a time, and out comes the C4. Down goes Hyper. It's that Finker. So again, you lose all those nanos. You lose the nades if they had any left on side. They didn't. They'd already used them all, so not the end of the world, but you still lose a big gun from the team.
Pamba, he's just going to be on the drones. He's going to report a player inside a pit, but it's pretty much commonplace that there's going to be somebody playing in this location until you remove the shield. Pamba, Eclipse get in explosively. They've got control of sight here. Desney looking to push forward, but Nez with a nitro manages to find one and keeps on coming. Palu, Ask, Nez, and Team Liquid fight from behind to get themselves the round. And now that's going to be 2-1 Team Liquid.
3 kills coming in from below as well. We had the 2 C4s, and the last kill that came onto NJR inside of attic was, I think, from Palu, who was down in meeting and just shot him through the hatch as he ran over. Unfortunate for DarkZero, it was very much a default cookie-cutter style attack, but Team Liquid were more than prepared for it.
They just let them play in. I often liken that defense up on the top floor there to sort of like an onion. There's just a number of layers, and you've got the core there in Kids Dorms and back at the double bunks.
A reference to onion without thinking
That's
about
what it's
Shrek.
like. You've got layers.
Onions have layers.
You've got layers. You've got to go through each layer, and the core was just super strong there. As they got into that position, they just couldn't force the man out of Kids Dorms, and it was just very, very difficult for DarkZero. Team Liquid winning the gunfights, winning the round, and going 2-1 up here on the defensive Oregon, but it is going to lead them into their third choice site there, and where we've seen a bit of popularity towards meeting recently, they're going to be taking dining.
Yeah, it's been really interesting how everyone seems to know that attacks onto meeting will come with an Ossa, yet teams still choose to go there and go, you know, we can deal with the Ossa. Teams are messy with it, it's not the best, we can definitely deal with that. But here on the dining side, I fully expect DarkZero will do what they've done for the majority of their attacks, except for that last round, which is to start out towards the small tower side of the map to the west. They'll push through, try and fight their way up in towards Showers itself, where PSK is currently holding firm. You'll also have someone coming in through the front door, which is currently what Hyper's looking to do, so keep an eye out for that, because this should be how things start to structure, unless DZ have a different plan in mind.
DZ could do with a nice entry here just to help them get control of that top floor, get in there, get the numbers advantage and start to wear Liquid down. Palu playing in the attic for the time being. He's got that open so that he can challenge on into meeting should DarkZero try to push in from that side. Of course, two sides as an option for attack here. You can go in through meeting, get the wall open into kitchen, get the diffuser down just inside, or potentially use the single door into kitchen if needs be. Alternatively, you get control of small tower and you work in from the dining side, and that's where this area becomes particularly important for the defenders. Holding on to Kids Dorms, Nesk is in there, they'll have the hatch open, and it gives a tight angle through onto that plant spot. But DarkZero making good progress here. NJR's got himself established inside of attic, and he can start drawing him forward now, find exactly what's going on ahead of him, and look to push him pressure onto these Team Liquid defenders.
Absolutely. Depends about that vertical, because with NJR having that control, sure, he's forced Palu away, but there's no reason why you wouldn't see someone potentially from Liquid try and re-challenge back into that spot. Someone like Ness, who's currently still holding inside of Kids. Here we go with the wall now being opened up. The control is established, and DarkZero already starting to look towards what could be a kitchen execute.
Interesting here, because DarkZero might not need to take too much of top floor if they're going to go onto kitchen. Eclipse finding the opener onto Palu. Hyper, he's just going to hold those players back into Kids dorms, but the floor is soft there, and a challenge can be made onto the plant spot, but he's going to go in probably as that is likely to happen and try to make the challenge. Nesk is getting aggressive here, just doesn't quite get the visual that he needs, and shut down by Hyper, and that's going to be DarkZero with a big advantage now. 5 versus 3, they've got top floor control, they've got the kitchen wall open. There is an opportunity for Eclipse to get in here and get that diffuser down.
I was going to say, Tim, right call here. 4 straight onto drones. You've got 60 seconds left, you've killed 2. 5 versus 3, use that time to take the advantage. Ask finding one as NJR comes in from above. They were just prepared and ready. Looking to go into the plant here. Panther finding another one, a 4 versus 2. It looks like DarkZero should be able to do this one. Eclipse dodging the smoke and going to be able to get this plant down. Back out into meeting they go. And Liquid, PSK and Ask are going to pull off an absolute miracle here, Tim.
It's going to take a lot of work at this point. Ask is low health as well, doing everything he can. He's battling from behind those tables, but just can't find anything at the minute. 4v2, and DarkZero have got the vertical. I really don't see any way for Team Liquid to get themselves back into this round. It's almost certainly going to level up for the North Americans. Hyper finds Ask, and it's all up to PSK. How many times have we said that? 1v4. He doesn't know the man is there. Eclipse, not only does he get the plant, he gets the final kill, and that's going to be DarkZero leveling things up 2-2 now.
Just keep on holding on to him, keep on battling back on this attack inside. 2-2 things stand. Kind of surprised we haven't seen a Ying or anything along those lines coming in yet again with that Warden ban coming out. You know, the reason why we're seeing a rise in Warden picks is because of that fear of, oh, they're going to drone us out, they're not going to see a Warden on side. Ying's a great idea, let's bring it along, but it simply hasn't happened. Down we go then, into the basement for round number 5.
The way that I look at a ban like that is DarkZero have banned Warden away. So what have they... Oh no, Team Liquid, sorry, have taken the ban. It's up at the top. I thought it was DarkZero that took the ban onto Warden, but... Oh, sorry, it was. I'm being corrected at this... because of rehost, we've got them reversed. So yes, DarkZero take the ban onto Warden. What have they done on their attacks so far that they couldn't have done with a Warden on the board? And the answer at the minute is nothing. There's nothing really that they've done that a Warden would have been any use against. So at that point, I'm thinking, could you got more value out of that ban? Even if it's Wamai or, you know, whatever it might be, could you have found a little bit more value?
There's always that question. For now, at least, they are getting by plenty fine. It looks like a pretty dug-in setup so far coming out from Liquid. Not super aggressive out on the roam as we've seen previously, but there's still time for resets and Nest potentially to work their way through the map, or could just real hunker things down. Very common to see that setup coming around security and the top of Freezer Stairs itself. Again, to slow down the onslaught that comes in from the shower side of things, where DarkZero have started most of their attacks so far. And here they are now, Tim.
The drone's racing in from that west side, and we know that Hyper on the Thinker is not going to be too far behind. He's going to be trying to push through, get established at the bottom of the white stairs. There he goes. He's got a little bit of support from Eclipse going in through dining as well, and they are just going to want to take this west side to begin with, make sure that the entire map is clear and theirs, and then they will move on to the downstairs and starting to choose exactly where they push in from. The only presence on that mid floor at the minute is the player in rear stage stairs. They've aggressed up a little bit, but as I say that, PSK drops himself back down to site. So that's going to be all of Team Liquid on site, and DarkZero, in recognising that, need to move themselves forward quickly, take that ground, and then start working to soften site.
It's good with the drone work for sure, because they're making sure it's safe for one to step forward so you aren't going to get blindsided from some random corner on your way down. They've got one looking down on towards the laundry stairs as well, so they have an idea of what's coming in. Rotero's raining in from Big Tower. PSK almost able to get a shot away there, but it will lock up, it will get deployed in there. Not that it's really going to achieve much for them. Oh, and again, Liquid have denied away the hard breach. He did this a couple of times back on Chalet in denying away the exothermic onto the snowmobile door. Same thing here, but this time on a hatch.
They've got the Maverick available, so it's not going to be the end of the world. Rather than try and battle around that electrical, they'll just use the blowtorch instead and get that hatch open, and then the Hibana will be able to work forward, open the reinforcement through. It'll force PSK out of Shy echo onto pillars, and really, if they push somebody onto rear stage stairs at the same time, they might just be able to pick up the kill there, and that'll be the catalyst for DarkZero to move forward. At the same time, they're trying to get themselves established inside a bunker, but obviously, elbow is still a thing, and they're going to have to deal with that as well.
Obviously got the smokes to worry about too, so although the 60 seconds on the clock, that can disappear very quickly when you're dancing around a couple of C4 smokes and potentially Goyo canisters as well.
PSK just being moved around there. We see him dipping out, and that was the kill that I expected. Canadian coming into rear stage stairs. Well played by DarkZero. They've got themselves that foundation that they need to start pushing in towards site and get Eclipse. The Rumi needs to put the plan down. Brilliant nade by NJR, and he follows it up with a kill onto Parlu. DarkZero 4v2 as Resets manages to find one back, but Eclipse, he's going to be able to get this diffuser down. I don't think that's going to stop him. Nest tries, but no, he is successful. Plant, and that is going to be Nest trying to fight back from Freezer. 1v4.
He's got a lot to do here as well. He steps out of Freezer. Good chance he's going to die. Yep, Hyper's got it from Pillar. It's a shutdown for DarkZero once again, pulling themselves ahead.
Canadian with a great opening kill there onto PSK. It was exactly what DarkZero needed. As I said, it was the spark in the powder keg there to be able to just get them moving forward. Was right, we know Pillars is clear now, and they were just so aggressive moving in behind it there. Great confidence from DarkZero.
Great to have those 3 rounds on the attack as well. Exactly what you wanted from a start on Oregon for the North American side, Tim. Even without bringing along things like the Ying that you referenced would be really strong for them. The 8 nade play back in round 1, not doing tons for them. You may well yet see it come out here again on this site. The current lineup they've got, Tim, does lean in towards those 8 frag grenades that did quite a lot of work for them on their attack here before.
Team Liquid now able to go back to dorms after a couple of rounds away. They won it back in round 3, so obviously feeling confident that they can do the same again, but DarkZero have already got a win on this site, so it's 50-50 at best for Team Liquid. DarkZero were more effective in the first round, that much is for sure. They're going to be looking to, I think, get aggressive again, get inside a site, get themselves established. Once they did that in round 3, they just didn't win the gunfights was the problem. I think it was Ask was playing in kids' dorms behind the bunks, and he was just able to dance around, get a couple of kills. Nest was never really pinned down, and so DarkZero, I think, were just a little bit premature on that final push.
Yeah, so slightly. Yeah, a couple of changes coming in here to DZ's lineup as well. You've got Canadian coming across onto the Nook from the Maverick, and Pamba once again dropping away from the Iana and bringing the IQ, because we've got that Echo and the Valkyrie on side with those pesky cameras and the Yokai drone. So, should make life a little easier for DarkZero. Let's not forget they were getting C4'd away an awful lot last time around, and that's what they're looking to prevent here.
Research just cycling through those cameras, trying to get any information as to where this push is going to be coming from. But DarkZero moving pretty quickly here, getting themselves through showers. The sledge of NJR just going to open up that route and allow the push to continue forward from that side. They wanted to get underneath and use those nades. I think they've got a little bit of utility there on the side of Pamba that's going to be giving them the information as to the utility ahead of them. And potentially the drones, but Canadian taking the choice not to take down the Yokai drone, just keeping himself off the radar on the knock.
Understandably, when you've seen Parlo, and I think it was Resets before on the roam down here, why wouldn't you go hunting? I think Resets has an idea that is coming, mind you. They had the ping coming in, so there's a drone on those stairs that's worked in their favor. Canadian still snaking his way through Freezer here. Stone cold killer, but can he catch Resets before he becomes too aware?
I absolutely love this play from Canadian. He's got himself deep into enemy territory. He just needs to be careful. He's checking the camera to make sure it's not being watched. I don't think Resets has any idea. Surely it's going to be a freebie for Canadian, and he gets the opener. What an absolutely beautiful play from the knock there. Canadian leading by example. Nest taking a little bit of damage from the nade, and that is DarkZero 5v4.
I love those kind of plays where you just see the build-up for a good 30 seconds before as well. Wonderfully delivered by Canadian and showing that patience sometimes is the play. They've got one down in the form of Resets. Parlo and Nest taking a little bit of chip damage on the way through as well, but so far looking good for DarkZero as we head into that last 60 seconds.
Hyper going to look to get aggressive onto white stairs, but needs to be very conscious of Nesk just on his left-hand side, inside of security there. Definitely something that needs to be dealt with. The nade goes in. That's just going to prevent the man moving out. He's going to take a little bit more damage, but still not dealt with now, and it could be an issue. He goes in, and knock this time. Canadian gets put down by Parlu. Nesk manages to get the kill onto Hyper. He was never dealt with inside of security. The kills keep coming. NJR, PSK, they're trading back and forth. Pamba manages to find Parlu. That's 2v2 now, but we have a man down. NJR is finished off. PSK with a double at the end, and that's going to be a 3-3 half.
DZ knocked down a peg there, Tim, as well. Just figured it out. They weren't going to get stung in twice in the same round by the Nook and have an immediate answer. But I love it, again, the play coming in through all of basement. It took a good 30 to 45 seconds. What?
It's no good using the knock jokes. We can hear the groans now.
That's part of the fun, though, right? Makes it twice as fun. Normally, you get no reaction. You have to wait until later on to go back and see what chat said, or a tweet comes through going, boys,
come on.
this is not funny anymore.
Knock it off.
Attackers need to locate.
Terrible. Utterly terrible. Down to basement we go, and Liquid have read straight into that Warden ban. He said, you know what, guys? A Warden ban is a wonderful idea to bring the Ying along. Why not? That's going to get rolled out here in the first round on the attack of the basement. So DarkZero, that 3-3 split, Tim. We've had 3-3 so much this week, and every time we've seen it, I'm pretty sure we've essentially seen us going through to overtime in the majority of situations.
I'm just a little bit concerned for DarkZero. As we said, they banned out the Warden. They haven't done anything to really play into that. And now immediately on Team Liquid's first attack, right, we're bringing Ying.
10 seconds left.
There's no Warden, we're bringing Ying. Yep. And they're going to have to play against it. So I just really hope that DarkZero have got a plan. They've got something in mind for how exactly they're going to deal with this.
Maybe it's a bait tip.
Maybe it is, maybe it is, maybe it is.
Maybe they know something that we don't. Time will tell in the next couple of minutes or so. Let's see what happens though, because DarkZero are starting out with a couple of players out on the roam. I think we've got NGR and Hyper currently holding off around Kitchen, whereas Liquid have gone basically direct to site. 101, Palu trying to push his way down towards Elbow, now rotating off. Always talk about that phantom pressure, Tim. You see a door or a window shot out. You don't know if someone's on the other side of it unless you've got a cam on the outside, which doesn't really help anymore. Cams no longer lasting long on the outside, especially Valkyrie cams, and of course Yokai's at the same time. Mozzie drones also included in that conversation. So it just keeps you guessing of, okay then, when is someone going to come running through? Not a matter of, you know, if, it is definitely going to be a when.
Ness just getting himself inside the dining there, take out the mute jammers, and that's just going to allow a little bit more progress for those drones to go in ahead of him. He immediately gets himself back onto his own. He's going to send it in through Kitchen. Hyper just holding an angle from the top of Freezer stairs there, looking to get aggressive on towards that double door, but cannot find any shots, cannot find his man. Resets is free to get himself onto the drones, and that pretty much forces DarkZero back to site now. So they're going to be holding on for almost 2 minutes of this round. There's still Canadian at the top of the main stairs, so there's an opportunity for him to potentially get out and make a nuisance of himself, but I don't think he's going to stick it too hard, to be honest. He's just waiting for a little opportunity. If one comes his way, great. If not, he'll drop back down to laundry.
This is why we're seeing more aggression in the game at the moment, I think, as well. As we spoke about it a lot already, the attacker repick coming in just means that the attackers can bring along the most optimal lineup to attack in towards the site. If you as the defenders let them get in position to pull off a full-on execute, you know they've got the best tools for the job. Maybe Palu bringing along the breaching charges here isn't really the play. Claymores might have been more useful given the Nomad ban that has come out. But outside of that, Liquid have got all the tools at their disposal. They've got most of their nades on site. They've got all Candelas. They get these hatches opened up for free as well with the Maverick and the Hibana. Everything is going their way so far, and DarkZero haven't really disrupted them outside of killing a good number of drones.
No, and what we're likely to see from Liquid, and it looks like what they're shaping up for, is they like to attack this from multiple angles. They're not the team that will just go from rear stage and bunker. They want to get somebody down into Freezer. They want to get somebody down into Laundry, and they want to make it really difficult. As you can see ahead of you, you've got Ask and Ness going to Laundry. You've got Palu going to Freezer. You've got PSK working at rear stage. They're going to just try and encircle the defenders, and the problem for DarkZero is they end up spinning around on the spot because they don't know where the pressure's going to come from. Out goes the first Candela. That's going to bake quite a lot of utility out of DarkZero there, but at the same time, Ness hits them from the rear. Canadian manages to get the trade. NJR with one. Ask and Palu managing to get two apiece. 3v2, it's 2v2. The plant is going down right now. It's going to be Ask. Can he hold on to this?
Resets has got the crossbow from Freezer. He perfectly nails down both, finds the elbow clear, and then gets the one coming in from E-Box. A very good attack from Liquid and Tim, showing why that three-pronged attack can be so effective.
It's just so dangerous. It's very difficult to defend against, and it's something that Liquid do so well. We saw Nesk able to get the big opener there, coming in from that rear side, and it's just not expected. As soon as you hear those Candelas, you saw it. There was the Toxic Babe canister. There was the Nitro over the top. They were doing everything they could to deny a plant that wasn't actually happening. It was just the presumption based on PSK dumping the Candela in, and it just really did take DarkZero's focus, and fortunately, Team Liquid took full advantage of that.
Well, they're going for the same thing once again here. DarkZero thinking, you know what, we can course correct on the downstairs, and again, I'd like to see more of them out and about around the map here, looking to disrupt Liquid earlier on. They did get rid of drones, but weren't looking ready to take any fights or consume too much utility on the way through. Now you know what Liquid are going to do. They've once again got the Ying. All the things look exactly the same. you need to be more prepared as DarkZero. Do not let them get that three-prong setup coming in.
Absolutely not. We're going to have a quick technical pause. We just need to take a quick rehost. We'll get everybody back in ASAP. Liquid leading 4-3 at this point, but nobody so far on Oregon has been able to get more than a one-round lead. And DarkZero have had their time ahead as well, but right now it's the Brazilians that are leading things, and they are looking like they could be heading towards that grand final unless DarkZero can find a little bit of momentum on the defense here. Not an easy start for them down in Laundry.
Not an easy ask either, really. You know, you are against a team that can be really ferocious. You saw how clinical they were in clearing the map out there as well, being cautious behind drones. Both teams have done a pretty good job of that, to be fair, is playing behind information and not just blindly walking into a room and hoping, I hope there's no one in that corner that will shoot me on my way through, as we've seen from a few teams here at the competition. Things are looking pretty good. Should be back into game any moment now, guys.
Well, this is it's just posturing up for an unbelievable finish. I'm hoping that Liquid, I want to see a real game out of this. You know, I don't mind which team goes through, but I'd love to see it go.
Can't say that in this room,
Can't say that. At the end of the day, we just want the most competitive teams in the final, but I really want to see it go to 12. I'd want to see every single round or even overtime, as much as we can get out of this one. I was just a little bit concerned with that last round that DarkZero would just a little bit off the pace there, and maybe Team Liquid can get themselves a couple in a row unless DarkZero can put the brakes on.
Well, hopefully they figure out the answer here as well. We've had that rehost, a quick chance to chat and figure things out too. They know that in that last round, they just gave too much breathing room to the side of Liquid. Now they've got to be adaptive, they've got to get out there, get aggressive, slow them down, ideally kill the Ying early on, because that's the prime operator that you want to be getting rid of. Back down we go then into Laundry and Supply Team. If they manage to equalize here, we could just be having ourselves going 1 for 1 for 1 the whole way through this second half, which would lead us towards that 6-6 scoreline.
I've absolutely no problem with that. I think, like you say, the big difference here is don't give Liquid as much time, and also don't get baited in. You know that they're going to attack you from multiple sides. You know it's not all going to come down to a Candela push down rear stage. So don't get pulled into that and just take that opportunity. You know, yes, you've heard the Candela come in, but just see what happens after it. Don't pull your utility on a plant that isn't happening. So down to the bottom floor, we'll see if anything changes up for DarkZero. But yes, particularly, I'd like to see at least one, maybe out on the top floor, just trying to waste a bit of time for Liquid on the attack.
Definitely, yeah. Get disruptive right is ultimately the way to look at it, is, go out there, cause trouble. That's, again, what your defenders have to do now that attacker repick is such a prominent part of the game. For how things are starting up, it's looking very similar once again for DarkZero. They're getting themselves the hatch reinforced off, looking to give themselves some agency to get out in the map and cause a little bit of trouble, get rid of some of those drones. But for me, it's about being on that top floor and trying to burn through some time, which Canadian currently is, getting some shotgun holes in the floor to assist with one, a drop back angle through the hatch, but also to try and stop anyone who comes vaulting in through the big window. So yes, DarkZero are getting out of the map and looking to cause trouble.
Perfect, that's what we want to see. It doesn't need to be more than one player, it just needs to be somebody who can burn time. It's quite a big site to look after. You've got to worry about laundry stairs, you've got to worry about freezer, you've got to worry about rear stage and bunker. So you need the manpower down there. You can't commit too much outside of site. But one, being Canadian, out there on the Malusi, top floor, just to hold on and waste as much time as he can. If he can trickle his way back down to site through those hatches, fantastic. He's taking drones out along the way. He's just denying that utility. Already down to 6 for Team Liquid, so that is not a terrible start for Parlu. Look how aggressively he's going in here. He knows that Canadian's up on that top floor, and Canadian knows that his cards are marked, and he's going to drop himself back down to security.
Get me out, just charging as far away as possible. In fact, everyone dropping all the way back down here as well. One more coming down. I think it's Hyper behind them to make sure they are safely back on site. So again, only about 60 seconds wasted, but Tim, once again, they've burnt through 5 drones on the side of Liquid. So they are getting rid of information. No real disruption to the execution when it's going to roll around. 5 drones tends to be enough to get the key information that you need. So Liquid going to be happy. DarkZero probably also feeling quite happy themselves at the damage they've done.
Exactly. Liquid just taking another drone in phase there to try and get Nesk inside. It's taken them longer though this time. That is the key. By having that player on the top floor, it just meant they had that bit of extra clearance to do. It wasn't a case of just 10 seconds, run the drones across, right, there's nobody up there. They now needed to push a man through. It was Parlu, he got the job done, but 1 minute 20 left to go and they haven't opened any hatches yet. There's still work to be done here for Team Liquid.
You can get it done pretty quick, obviously, with the Hibana as well. You know, 4 pellets per hatch, away you go. I think that's the last one now to get opened up. So all 3 have been opened. Now it's really on getting rid of the crucial bits of utility that might stop you. Things like the Banshees. We saw one then for a second on the big tower stairs. We had the one that was inside of Zulu, actually, on the ground floor, which I don't know if it's been cleared away. Yes, it has, so no issue there either. So they're getting their way through. They're getting things ready again for a similar execute. And this is what I was nervous about for DarkZero. They've got that Ying ready to go, and PSK is just looking for the invitation.
But just sort of stretching them thin, and they have to win those 1v1s when they come. It means they can't necessarily double up, but there's going to be 3 pushing in here, and that could be a well-timed Toxic Babe canister that's just going to prevent that rush coming in. We can see the nade is going to follow into elbow, but they don't know about Pamba. He gets 1, can he get 2? No shutdown, but Canadian manages to get a double. Ask, he's the one to finish Pamba off, but it could be too little too late. As DarkZero now in a 4v2, they just need to hold on for the last 20 seconds here. It's all for Liquid to do, and there is absolutely nowhere that they can push forward here, trying to work in through toxic gas, trying to challenge onto elbow. Billy Cliff with a big shotgun kill onto Ask, and that's going to be a 4v1 now, all up to Parlu from the rear stage stairs, but the time is ticking away. The sand is running through the hourglass stairs. He pushes down to Pillar, but it's unlikely that he does anything as DarkZero level things up 4-4.
No diffuser, no kills, no chance for Parlu there at the end. Canadian proving himself the hero once again with that big 2K to shut everything down. Liquid, a slightly different approach in that round as well, mainly focusing on construction. They did have PSK up on the meeting hatch, looking to get those Candelas down inside a pillar, but they never really made it through construction in the first place. That 2-man hold coming out of DarkZero, more than enough to shut Team Liquid down.
Much better from them that time around. They're going to be heading up to dorms this time for their round 9 defense, all the way up to that top floor. There's going to be a little bit less opportunity necessarily to burn time in the same way. You don't necessarily want to play with as many roamers out there. You're going to have one underneath more than likely. It's going to be somebody with Nitro in hand, possibly Canadian on that Koyo. Get himself down there, try and play inside of security and kitchen and deny any sort of vertical attempt at a plant, but still not as much opportunity to waste time, so again, could be problematic for DarkZero.
Absolutely. If PSK sticks on this Capital, it's one of those operators that I see. There's a few, like things like Castle as well. You know, this is always one blitz. It's always an exciting one because you know something's about to go down. You don't bring a blitz and then play a slow round, for example. But Capital's one of those as well because the 2 smoke bolts that he has, plus the fire bolts, that's a lot of utility that you can use on site to shift defenders around or to block off certain paths and get yourself charging forwards. They've also got that Ying on side once again, so Liquid going for another round in a row. That's now 3. This really execution-heavy setup.
Canadian is getting quite aggressive, actually. I suggested that he might be playing inside of security, but Hyper is going to find himself down, and he's going to be finished off with a gun 6 by Parlu. That is not an ideal start to the round there. Team Liquid getting themselves an advantage, 5v4.
That's it, just through that front lobby door as well, just not paying the respect that someone might charge at it and just go for a blind spray. You know they want the default cam, and if they see you on the way through, well, you are basically going to be a goner. Could have come from a drone though, not 100% sure, but all that matters is the Aruni is down and out for the round. Eclipse stepping around Zulu as well, looking to do a similar sort of challenge on towards that front door. Dips back across towards Showers and goes for the same, expecting, quite fairly so, that a team or a player will come charging in from the Showers side. No one was there at that point, so now he's able to back himself away and sit inside of Serba.
DarkZero maintaining a little bit of an aggressive stance here. They've got Eclipse still underneath in security. No rotation through to Kitchen, which is going to lock him in there, but it is also going to keep him more secure. But then Canadian getting down the armory stairs and just trying to get an aggress onto that door. As he's drawn out, he's going to dip away because he knows that the challenge would be far too easy, but he's still going to keep himself in trophy, and at the halfway mark, that is not the end of the world. DarkZero able to at least keep Team Liquid out of Master Bedroom for the time being. The only pressure mounting is that inside of Attic.
Absolutely. For now, just digging in deep, I think Canadian could do a bit of work from inside of Master, mind you, if he's not droned out. Looking at the drone count, again, 5 remaining for the side of Liquid. It's been a couple of times now we've got to the halfway mark, and DarkZero have done a good job at slowly whittling the drone count down, which just means mistakes could start creeping in for the side of Liquid. Smoke's coming out now inside of Attic. NJR holding that one down, at least for now. Liquid still with a lot of time to play with, though, Tim. I feel like for DarkZero, if you're starting to burn through those critical bits of utility already, you'll start to sweat in the last 30.
Certainly going to be a couple of key gunfights coming up in the next 30 or 40 seconds, and DarkZero need to make sure that they are on the right side of them. Pamba, he's just trying to support Canadian a little bit. Canadian playing outside in Master. Push is unlikely to come through there at this point, but it will come into Trophy, I would expect. So Canadian, he's going to be in a position to potentially hit them on the flank. 40 seconds left to go, and I'm guessing Canadian's probably got a rotation through Master Closet that will allow him back into sight without going directly through Trophy. Candela's go in. PSK, he's just waiting. Asphyxiation bolt as well. Smoke goes out. Another Candela. Candela after Candela as Ness manages to get a kill onto NJR. And they just swarm him. But Pamba and Canadian have got the answers, Des. They managed to get 3v2. Pamba with another onto Ness. And it's falling apart for Liquid as Canadian manages to get himself a second. And now it's 1v3. PSK, he's pushing in. 10 seconds left to go. Can he find the kills? No! Pamba is laying in waiting. And that is going to be another step towards the grand final for DarkZero.
Liquid was so focused on their attic and kids push then as well that they had no idea Canadian was sat inside of Master. We keep on talking about these drones being picked away. They didn't have a chance to join him out there. Just freebies all day long for Canadian. Him and Pamba getting the diffuser down inside of Master and completely killing any momentum that attack had coming out of Liquid. Really well played by DarkZero.
Looking good, but Team Liquid not far behind. This is poised. No idea who is going to make it through. Liquid are going to have a slightly easier round here, potentially. They're going to be attacking onto Meeting. Interesting to see whether we have that Ossa play coming along or not. But it's time now for DarkZero to step up. This is absolutely pivotal, Des. If they can lock down their third choice site, get themselves onto map point, that is going to be a big blow to the hopes of the Brazilian favourites.
Just when we thought in the last map back on Shelly that Liquid might fight their way back through, DarkZero did get it over the finish line. So getting that advantage now, get to 6 and 4, give yourself a 2-round padding is the dream. Liquid win here though, Tim. We're guaranteed at least 12 rounds.
Oh, it's an exciting prospect. Right, so let's get into the action phase. It's going to be Meeting and Kitchen that DarkZero are trying to hold on to. We don't have the Ossa on the side of Team Liquid, so it's not an attack that the Brazilians are choosing to bring along, where you'd normally see those two shields used in conjunction with each other on the rear stage stairs to get control of Attic and the plant spot. Instead, they're going to be trying to work with an alternative. They've got Ask on the Thermite, so I still think it is going to be very much focused around rear stage and trying to get in there and get the plant down on the stage, but we'll see just how they protect themselves whilst doing it.
I quite like how they've got the line here as well, and PSK hasn't used it super early in the round, the first 5 seconds or so. It gets used there to stop anything like a run out or a jump out. Cyclops very aware of what that feels like, but instead I imagine holding on to at least a couple of these charges, but when they start looking to push it to the site, no one can move. Nades can start going in, you can start swinging, you can play as aggressively as you like. For now at least, PSK worked his way down into the basement. He's hunting down a Canadian for breakfast. Can he find him? Not just yet. Canadian down to half HP. Has now sleuthed his way across in towards Freezer and looking to pull back.
DarkZero really don't want to lose the opener here, and there's the exchange through the soft wall. PSK, he's going to call that EE1D scanning just to try and help him in this situation, slow things down, make sure he doesn't get gunned down by Canadian. But to Canadian right now, he's going absolutely nowhere. He does not want to give that basement up. Flashbang goes out, just going to prevent the push towards PSK while he's concerned about Laundry Stairs, but Eclipse, he's not going to head down there just yet.
Now, I think Canadian's wondering as well, okay, is he backed away? Am I still safe? Because you've got resets up on the other side. Great nade coming in from NJR, from Balu, sorry, to find NJR. Now Hyper gets resets. That's a critical one because that now unlocks Canadian to move out of Freezer, and if he wants to, move up towards Pillar and rejoin his Cheekies team.
Hyper with a big kill onto us. That's the Thermite down, Des. That is going to limit the hard breach capability now massively because they don't have any other options and they are running out of Hyper goes massive with a 4K on the round. Is he going to be able to find the last man? He's going to be looking for PSK. You know he's going to want it. It's going to fire momentum into the side of DarkZero, but they look like they could be heading towards a map and match point opportunity here. PSK, he's trying to work and get anything he can going. He's in a 1v3. He's got time, Des.
Hyper might be working his way down green here as well to come in for the challenge. Yes, you've got Eclipse playing above. He could drop the hatch here, but PSK has just basically walked into sight. Problem is the diffuser, it's all the way across in Big Tower. And at this point, that vertical angle and control of DarkZero, PSK is really trying to chase down Ghost here at this point. Got the one angle on the other side of Split as well of Canadian. PSK taking some damage down, and Hyper, he's just guarding that diffuser with his life. Across these steps, and Canadian gets the shutdown. What a massive massive round for Hyper.
And a massive round for DarkZero as well, as they go on to map point here, match point, series point. It will take them into the grand final if they can get just one more round, as that is all they need. Team Liquid clinging on at this point, doing everything they can, but just coming up short.
Paolo had no idea what was going on there as well, looking in towards sight rather than across towards Hyper. Huge 4K, you can hear the crowd behind us as well. They want it done here in 11 rounds. A 7-4 scoreline for DarkZero could be on the way, but Liquid understandably take their time out first.
Yeah, no surprises there. They just need to try and slow things down. DarkZero not a million miles ahead of them. Team Liquid know how close this is, and they know that there's a real opportunity for them to keep themselves in it and get themselves to overtime, but there is no mistakes left for the Brazilians now.
That's it. Turns out, Tim, that Warden ban, bait. The Ying hasn't been as effective as maybe they would have liked here. They're still trying to make it work by the looks of it. As we do go downstairs into that basement, it's looked a bit dicey. Liquid really rolling over DZ the first time round, but the second just being held up inside of construction. Potentially going into the last round of this semi-final. Let's see if Liquid can hold on.
Alrighty, it's going to be down to the basement that DarkZero go. Will they play somebody out in the map desk? That's the big question. Last time around, it was pretty critical for them. Yeah. Canadian up on the top floor, burnt a lot of time and just made their lives a lot easier inside of sight. Will they opt to double down on that and go for it again, or do they think it's a little bit of a risk? Palu moved in pretty quick last time around, and if Liquid could do that even quicker, then maybe they catch Canadian before he can get away.
It's one of those that I'm just thinking, sure, get out of the map, burn down those drones, never going to be a bad start against Liquid, but really this all spins on the dime that is Liquid's attack decisions. Where are they coming from? Is it all going to be a one-angle push, or are they going to split up once again and rely on some mechanical prowess to keep this game going?
Canadian just opening up his rotations on the top floor to free up his movement, allow him to get around there, and as you say, waste as much time as possible. Liquid will know that he's going to be in that position because they were pushing exactly the same last time around into this hold, and they got him cleared very, very quickly.
Absolutely. Still on that top floor is Canadian, indeed, roaming around a little bit. NJR and Hyper just dancing around securities we're so used to seeing. So DarkZero are looking to get out in the map and stay competitive. Slow Liquid down again, burn through drones, keep them at bay. Make that attack when it comes round really time dependent, because that is when a single slip up by the side of Liquid can cost them everything.
NJR going to be taking drones out, making it more difficult for Liquid to find out exactly what's going on, but they know that he's inside of security. There goes one nade, and it's going to allow resets to push onto the top floor, which is exactly where he wants to be. He wants to force Canadian away, which is exactly what will happen as he heads into the rear stage. He's going to move his way back down to sight. It's a little bit longer than last time, Des. It was about 50 seconds into the round that they managed to clear him, but this time, just a little bit quicker.
I keep pulling back to it, but again, drone count down to 4 after 60 seconds. Liquid have just had all this info taken away from them, which can make, again, those mistakes really come back to bite you and may just reduce Liquid's confidence in coming into their execute. Halfway of the round to go. Resets moving his way in through security, just trying to break open those common spots where defenders will normally hold inside a top freezer and security. Consider that removed. Palu is around for a little bit of assistance. And the fact they're a little bit fragmented right now, Tim, does make me think we are going to see that split come through.
That's just moving in very cautiously there, pre-firing his corners, making sure that there's nobody hiding in there, nobody going to make his life difficult. Resets is going to be working on those hatches now, just trying to open them up, get that vertical control that Team Liquid need. They've certainly got time here to be able to do this.
It's like, yeah, cheers for trying to burn the hatch open. Here's the real tools for the job. Here's the Havana pellets getting that one opened up. That's all hatches done. 50 seconds on the clock, and Nesk is moving his way down one set of stairs, Palu down the other. It's going to be that pincer again, Tim, that three-pronged attack coming in for Liquid.
Exactly that, and here they go. The challenge comes in, but DarkZero are aware. They are shooting in every single direction at the minute, trying to hold them at bay, but there's a lot of utility raining in around them. Palu manages to get the first, but Hyper, he manages to find himself in second, and he's going to be shut down by Ast 3v3.
Now they can go for the plant. Resets once again has got the cross, and DZ know that he's here. Eclipse finds the kill. That's what you're looking for. Ask and PSK, it's a 2 versus 2. Ask moving his way up towards Highway here as PSK comes down the top. He's got a second Canadian. If you're going to shine bright, now's the time to do it. Looks towards Highway. What a flick and finds one. Ask, the last man left alive, a bullet from death. In comes Canadian, but Ask finds the headshot. We're going to 12, Tim.
So close for DarkZero there, but Team Liquid able to get in, get that round and take us the distance here. The tag time out working wonders for them, and the Brazilians keep on fighting, and we know how much spirit and heart they have.
I really saw Canadian's name up in lights then as well. When that came down to the 1 versus 1, a single bullet to the body would have been enough at that range, but Ask, the perfect headshot. That's what you want to see to keep it going. And Nesk, he's gassing him up as well. It's not just our job, Tim. It's also his teammates.
Certainly is. The Team Liquid fans on the edge of their seats right now and waiting to see just what happens here in round 12. It's going to be Laundry once again, and I think that's a little bit of a risk for DarkZero. We know how good Team Liquid are in this attack. We've just seen it, and it's not going to be easy for them to hold on.
It wasn't quite the full 3-prong last time. We had 2 coming in through Freezer, 2 coming out of Laundry and PSK. I think he was just dumping in those Candelas on the way through. You know full well, these guys want it over and done with right now, Tim, because as fun as it is for those of us that are neutrals, that aren't maybe a DarkZero fan or a Liquid fan, you get into overtime and you are on the edge of your seat.
That's it, it's just going to be, the nerves will be through the roof. DarkZero finishing their setup there before they head up towards the top floor with Canadian to try and waste that time again. He was a little bit more successful, as I said last time around. It was about 1 minute 10 before Liquid were able to clear him out of there, whereas previously they have done it quicker. Are they going to be able to do so this time, or is Canadian going to hold on for even longer?
You'd hope holding on is not a bad shout. DarkZero, again, want to see this one all the way through. I'm keeping an eye on that drone count once again, Tim. I've referenced it so many times, at least here. Liquid still got a couple, well, all 10, sorry, still on side, when normally they'd have bled out by at least 2 or 3 by now. So a little more conserved on that front. DarkZero maybe not wanting to throw this round away and see it go through to overtime. They don't want it to go that far. Again, they want the 7-5 here and now.
Of course they do. Reset's working across that mid-floor then. He knows, as always, there's going to be somebody in security. He wants to bypass them. Last time he just dumped the nade in there and it gave him the opportunity to get up the white stairs. This time he's going to make sure that somebody's present before he does that. It's actually NJR and Canadian that are in there at the moment. There is a time on where maybe they take a choice to double peek him and try and get the kill, but no, they're going to drop back into sight, and that is Team Liquid pretty quickly inside the first minute, forcing DarkZero back in to their final position.
It's been about this 150 mark where DZ have pulled back quite consistently. The only difference in this round, again, is the drone count being left alive. Think about how many times I've said 4 drones, 5 drones left, and that's it. They've only lost 1 in the first minute and a half of this round, so it's a better improvement for Liquid, but drones don't always guarantee kills. It just means you can afford to take more informed gunfights that could lead to a very different outcome.
Canadian just heading down the stairs. He's going to try to hold on to rear stage for as long as possible. He actually got himself an important kill from there onto PSK, so obviously very aware of the value of that area and not wanting to give it up. It's going to be Nesk who's potentially looking towards that, but Team Liquid, they're not in any big rush here. They're still working on those hatches, still waiting to get into position. As we saw last time, it takes 5 or 10 seconds to potentially win or lose this side.
Go then, hatches being opened up then into that last 60 seconds, what could be the last of Liquid's tournament or the start of a very torturous overtime for the DarkZero side. Step before, so they've got 1, resets, working his way down in towards Freezer. Ask and Nesk once again are stacking up at the bottom of Laundry, and you've got PSK looking to come in from the construction side.
Nesk, he's going to take this peak if he gets the opportunity. You just know it, the nade is going to go out as well. And here comes the push from Team Liquid. DarkZero need to hold on. Hyper gets Nesk. That's a big opener. Hyper gets 2 onto Ask. This time it's now 5 versus 2, 4 versus 2 as Eclipse finds PSK, but Palu gets something going.
Canadian.
Team Liquid, he is low health though. Canadian springs the back.
Because it guarantees us an all-NA final. And coming into map 1, Tim, we all thought this was going to be a quick one, but DarkZero digging deep, show us a pound the party, and of course it has to be a Canadian with a massive 2K at the very end. That is the ending that this game deserves.
DarkZero and the fans all on their feet as they celebrate what is a huge win for the team. Coming through groups with a strong performance into the playoffs and continuing that momentum all the way into the final, which will now be an all North American affair.
For Liquid, I was just about to say, you've got to feel for them. Yet again, coming to a competition and going out in the final few teams. We've been asking for the longest time, when will they find that win? Sadly, it's not here.
It is not. Team Liquid, as you say, always coming close, but never quite making it. And they are going to suffer the same fate once again.
One of those, Tim, just one of those. That big question now, of course, is who do DarkZero face off against in the final? Oxygen or Astralis? It's an all-NA showdown.